Hello, and welcome to the first episode. Well, not the first. The latest of firsts.
This is technically the first.
Yeah, okay, well, the latest first episode of Dan Cook's Meth.
I'm Dan.
Meth. We are not a cooking show.
We have nothing to do with cooking any illicit drugs.
No. Or cooking in general.
That too, yeah.
Yeah. This is just our podcast about whatever the fuck we want to talk about.
Yeah, could be anything.
Damn, were we not supposed to swear? I think I just broke that.
Wait, are we not supposed to swear in the intro?
Fuck it. All right, so Dan Cook's Meth is about everything and anything we want it to be about.
Yeah.
First thing, I think you want to share a story with us?
Yeah. So, we're going to the gym. So, you know when you go to the gym and you have like a specific time that you set up, like, so say 4 o'clock is my gym time. Get off work, I go to the gym.
Part of your schedule.
Part of your schedule.
Yeah.
And there's always the same, after a while, you see the same group of people that come at the same time over and over.
Yeah, the regulars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that, and I've seen this one guy come to the gym all the time, and he always ends up training with this girl.
His girlfriend?
What I thought at first was his girlfriend, because I was in the squat rack, and they were...
I'm going to pause you right there, because everybody's winding up for the eventual, and then I fucked this girl. So I'm just gonna wait for that. But go on.
It doesn't end that way. I'm telling you that now.
Damn. What I thought was his girlfriend until
Yeah.
her mouth was on my penis.
So I'm at the squat rack,
Uh-huh.
and they're like, I guess they're setting up to deadlift or something, and she walks over, and he's like, "Oh, hey, beautiful." So that's when I was like, okay.
She said that to you?
No, not to me. I'm just sitting there.
I was like, yo, didn't I just tell you how this story was gonna end? Okay, go
No.
on.
He says it to the girl.
Oh, okay.
I'm just sitting there, just in between my sets. And then they go on, they work out. I see them almost like every day, every time I'm there, about the same time,
Mhm.
they show up, and I keep hearing him say, like, "Hey, beautiful," and like,
Is she beautiful?
she's
Is she like a troll and he's like, hey, beautiful? And you're like, this guy's fucked.
no, she's not bad looking.
Okay, so I mean, there's justification to go. And honestly, man, oh, wait a minute, you said you thought it was his. Okay, sorry. Go on.
Yeah, so they keep working out together, and they train together, they meet up together. So I've always, after a while, you're just like, they must be like dating. I have no other reason not to like
Yeah,
think otherwise.
especially given what he keeps saying with
Yeah.
earshot. Yeah.
So fast forward.
Is he saying anything weirder than "Hey, beautiful"? He's not saying anything like "I can't wait to take you home and bend you over."
I don't know. I don't.
You didn't
I don't go that close to them to hear their conversation.
You're not eavesdropping.
I'm not easy.
Okay.
All I ever hear is that one line, because I'm always somewhere in earshot when he says
Okay.
it, and he says it pretty loud. I don't know why. Because he's like trying to mark his territories. Like, this is mine.
Hey, beautiful. That one, her.
Not you, her.
Not you, her.
So fast forward, I guess a few months later, because of the stupid pandemic, and gyms became unhealthy for like a couple months.
Yeah,
We're back.
still is depending on who you talk to.
That's true, yeah. So fast forward, we're back in the gym, and then I see him, and I see her come in, but then he's just sitting there just looking at her, like on the bench,
Oh no.
and then a next guy comes in
Oh
behind,
no.
and it looks like,
He got pandemic swerved.
I think so, or he might have never been, I don't think they were ever dating. I think he was just constantly shooting his shot, and she was just like, oh, this is just my guy I work out with to help me train.
No.
Because, like, she doesn't even train with him anymore. She's training with this other guy. And he looks like, because he wears a mask in the gym.
Uh-huh.
So all you see is his eyes. And you can tell, like, the pain in his eyes that he looks so sad. Like, every time I see him and she comes in with that guy, it's like a little piece of him dies.
Whoa. So wait, hold on. Do they not even talk?
I've never seen them talk since.
Fuck.
Like, I mean, he might have said, like, hey, what's up? But then he's
None
like,
of that beautiful shit is going
Yeah,
on anymore.
But
though.
now he's like on the opposite end of the gym doing something else.
So like, there's a huge gap in that story that you were witnessing that we don't know about, right? Like
We
what
don't
happened
know that during those lockdown months.
Yeah.
We don't know.
where I mean that dude must have been like, yo, this is the time I spend with her.
Yeah,
Like, what the fuck?
she
Right.
found someone else, or
Wait, are they in shape? These two?
yeah, they're all in shape.
Okay. So I mean they're not wasting their time.
No, like when they're in the gym and he's still calling her beautiful and stuff, they're training. They're
Back
actually
then.
like they're not like on their phone and like taking stupid selfies together. They're actually like training. So I'll give them that credit.
What if it's one of those things where she just outgrew her trainer, and she was like, "Yo, I just need to move." You know how female rappers, they'll move on from their managers, like real,
Yeah.
like I think Nicki Minaj left Gucci Man's mom or something like that, right? No, Waka Flocka's mom was
Yeah.
her manager, and she just outed, like, up and dipped on her. What do you think? What if it's like one of those things where she's like, "No, you're just not doing it anymore. I need to," because clearly they weren't fucking. So
Yeah.
she must have dropped him on the merit of him just not being a good trainer, or homeboy really, really shot his shot, and it didn't go well. And it was
I think
messy.
he really shot a shot.
You
and
think
didn't
so?
go well. Yeah, because
Because they don't even talk anymore.
he's bigger than
The
the
other
guy
dude.
she's with. Yeah,
Oh wow,
like he's like a short, stocky Asian dude.
damn. Does it make you wonder, like, how, like, if that was reversed, how fucked that would be? Where if it was like a guy who came in with a girl every day, right, and they were always together, and the girl was just constantly throwing herself at him, and like the guy was just like, oh, whatever, and then you took a hiatus from that spot, and you came back, and the guy was with another girl, and the first girl was just in the corner, like watching them with tears in her eyes. Wouldn't you be like, this is sad?
I
This is
gotta, you
kinda
gotta find
sad."
another gym. You just gotta go to another gym.
At that
It's
point, yeah.
just as easy as that.
The
It's
gym-
like I've seen it happen, or it's happened to me before. It's just like she went to another gym. It's like, all right, I don't know what to do.
I guess I might as well just keep it moving.
Yeah.
That's, you got to remember that the gym is about exercise, and I guess these people's lives.
Some people shoot their shots, man.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was what one girl, she went to like the guy at the front desk.
Uh,
So normally I come in, like, I'll shoot the shit with him before I start working out.
uh,
I'll go, and like he comes up to me and he's like, "Yo, this one girl like likes you." I was like, "What the hell?" I'm like, "Yo, is this like a sick joke? Like, are you coming on to me?"
is it a note that he? Like, yes, no, maybe.
He's like, "Fuck you, man. No." He's like, "I'll show you when she comes in next." And I'm like, "Who?" She's like, "The girl who's here all the time." I'm like, "I don't know who that is, man. Be more
You
specific."
work here, not me.
Yeah. He's like, "All right, I'll show you next time."
Did he show you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he showed me one day. He's like, "Oh, it's her." I'm like, "Are you sure?" He's like, "Yeah, just go talk to her. She wants you to talk to her."
Talk to her about what?
I don't know. So I was just like,
Just walk up and be like, "Hey, my girlfriend thinks I'm handsome."
yeah.
Do you?
This is when I was single.
Oh, I wouldn't put it past you when you were single. To be like, my girlfriend thinks I'm handsome. Do you? You were one of those people when you were single that you constantly put hurdles up where hurdles need to be up just to see what happens. You know, where it's just like other people will be like, I want a clear as possible path to getting laid. They're like, I want all the obstructions gone. I don't want people looking. Like, I don't want. It's like when actors shoot nude scenes, right, on set. They're like, I want everybody gone so I don't have to look at my junk. You're like, I want everybody here. I want everybody to have cameras, and I want people to try and stop me in between here and there. Let's see what happens.
Keep it challenging.
Exactly.
You know, gotta entertain myself somehow.
There's definitely going to be people who envy that about you, I think. The fact that you're like, I'm so good at this that I want to make it more difficult. Where there's people who are like, I haven't done this yet, and I hate that man because he's done it a lot, and it bothers me how hard he makes it for himself. Obviously, there's going to be people like that.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear from those people, right? Because I've spent our whole childhood telling you how messed up you are. So, I can't wait to hear about this. I feel like one of the best parts about our podcast is that the world is going to be more exposed to you.
To me?
To you, yeah. Because historically, when anybody who grew up with us will attest to this, people were always like, Dan is quiet, right?
Yeah.
Dan is always a quiet one, which is the worst quality to have on a podcast. Because
That's true,
it's
yeah.
an audio medium. Right?
Yeah.
So I feel like what we knew as our friend group, we were growing up, was like, he may be quiet, but he's an asshole, right? Like, the world will get to find out more. And like, just based on this story alone, I think like it's a great introduction to how messed up you can be. Because like, even then, it's like, I would have been like, if somebody had told me, like, yo, that girl likes you at the gym, I would have been like, no. You know why no? Because women don't typically shoot their shot with guys. What's wrong with her? Immediately, what's wrong with this girl? Right? What did she look like?
I did go and talk to her.
You did? What did she say?
Nothing. We worked out then we ended up working out together for a bit.
And that was that? This is a while ago, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think we went out like a couple times after that.
Yeah.
And then
And that was that.
And that was that.
And then did you go up to the guy at the front desk and mark his assist card for him?
His thing was like, yo, if she had any hot friends, hook me up. I was like, all right, I got you, man.
Didn't she tell him to hook her up with you? I don't think there's room for him with anyone. Like,
I don't know. He didn't have to tell me, all right?
yeah, he didn't have to tell you. But what was he gonna do? Be like, I'm Dan. You know that guy that you say that you like? That's actually me.
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah.
I just had a really dark tan that time.
That day. It would never work. It would, like, obviously he has to pass that message along. Or he could try the shiesty thing and just be like, you know, that's actually a woman. Right? That used to, like, that guy that you like, that used to be a woman. What, you like that?
Or he could just say, like, he has a girlfriend. I don't know. I have to make me a woman.
The thing is, even on the joke I made earlier, we live in a world where it doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't, like, it's not a lie to say most guys will shoot their shot with women, even if they're dating someone. It's not a lie to say that most women may be open to seeing someone who's already with someone else, right? Like, the world is vastly different from when we were in high school. Because that's when you get introduced to dating, right? High school. It's like television shows and shit, and movies, and you get like stupid shit like 16 Candles and stuff, where you're just like, is this what dating is? Is this how you romance someone, right? Or like holding a boombox above your head and shit like that. Like,
you said 16 Candles? Like, 80% of people are not going to know what 16 Candles are.
Good. 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 Right? I'm saying it's not a good example. Right? Or like, you know, like a better example of what it isn't is American Pie. Right? Like it's American Pie is just shit happening. Right?
Having sex with pie.
Yeah, well that too.
Literally.
That's literally yeah. But just like,
like
that's more accurate of the teenage experience of like struggling to try and get laid. But even then, it's like, we're not fucking inanimate objects that came out of an oven and shit like that and are hot. I'm sure someone has.
Because what did they say? It was like, it feels like warm apple pie.
Yeah, that's something that like no brown person has ever said to another person. Like, in the history of fucking, no brown guy's like, it's like warm apple
Curry.
pie and side of curry, apple curry. Like, yeah, like no. I've never heard someone describe sex or pussy as any sort of confectionery. Pie, cake, whatever it is.
I heard peaches.
I mean, that's like eating pussy. That's different. Okay, I'll meet you halfway on that one.
Right,
Fine.
see?
But I'm saying like the feeling of it is not peaches, because there's a pit in a peach. Like, that's going to go sideways real quickly.
That's why he put his 2 fingers in the pie.
God.
Next time you have apple pie, put your fingers in it.
I thought you would be like, next time you have apple pie, fuck it.
Okay, you can do that too.
I was like, so you're just going to brazenly tell me you'll have sex with a pie?
Just put your fingers in and like report back.
That's the thing. I've never been like, even after seeing those movies, I've never been like,
I gotta try
see
this.
A pie, I'm going to put my fingers in it like it's a pussy.
Well, next time, try it.
I feel it's mad
Start
fucked.
with one finger and then see if
the pie is upset about it.
Yeah, and see if you put the second one in.
Get the second one in. I just don't think it's a good look to fuck things you eat. And I know I'm saying that as a person who loves to eat pussy. It's not. Let's remove that part of it. I'm just saying things that are supposed to be regularly just eaten and ingested, like watermelons and shit like that. Like, it's not a good look to fuck these things, right? But as teenagers, you're like, I'm not getting pussy. What am I supposed to do? Let's approximate things. And some idiot tells you, hey, it's like apple pie. Suddenly you have third-degree burns on your dick, bro.
Well, to be fair, they didn't tell him to fuck the pie. They said the feeling is like warm apple pie. So he put his fingers in, and then he went from fingers, let me put my dick in it and see where this goes.
I mean,
just imagine walking in and your son is fucking the pie.
I did think that, Eugene Levy in those movies, he's the most understanding father in the world.
Yeah.
Right? Because he walks in on a lot of shit in those movies. And just like, is like, I love my son. My son is clearly fucked up, right? So I'm just going to call it what it is. And the weird part about those movies to me is always like, what's his name? Is the kid, his son, is always acting like he's not doing weird shit. Yeah. And like, the weird part is that his dad walked into his room without knocking and shit like that, right? It's like, nah, dude, like, you were on the island in the kitchen, like, with your pants down, he was bracing on the counter and spread across, fucking a pie.
Missionary style.
He didn't even take the pie with him into the bathroom or anything. He fucking in the kitchen, right? It was almost like the pie was like, take me here. Take me now.
Do me in the kitchen.
I don't want to go there. I want it to be dirty. I do think though one of the greatest lines ever is like right after he walks in on him, and the next scene is them sitting there, and he's like, "We'll just tell your mother we ate them." It's it's some of the best stuff, but horrible when it comes to like an approximation of what dating is and shit, right? Like, because that's night and day from now. Now it's just savage, wild shit, right? That people, yo, remember that joke? Remember that joke that Chris Rock said before about how like when he meets a chick who doesn't suck dick, he was like he looks at them like Betamax cassettes. He
Yeah.
was like, they still make you, right? It's like that's so true now more than anything. You meet a chick who does not suck dick now, and you're just like, so what do you do? Right? You know what I mean? Am I wrong?
She's on OnlyFans now.
Yeah, it's like you should send pictures of your feet to the world, I guess. Like, what do you do? It's such a fucked up world that dating is set up to now. I'm so glad I'm out of it. I'm so glad I don't have to navigate that nonsense anymore.
Oh, it's like a shit show out there now.
Yeah, it's the problem is it's men versus women, and like both sides are wanting to win and not come together, right? Everything almost in society seems like it's men versus women, with both sides not wanting to come together. And there's like assholes on both sides that are just leading the charge, and everybody else is just regular people, like just sitting here watching things.
Yeah,
on
it's
the internet.
basically 5 assholes on either side.
On either side,
Yeah.
exactly. And
the rest of the people are just like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah. The internet's been a problem for that kind of thing. You know what really fucked me up? Like 2 weeks ago, for like 45 minutes, I was 100% convinced we had solved the Zodiac killings, right? And like I was like, oh shit, I can't believe it. They caught the Zodiac killer. And then I looked into and I read it. It's like, no, people on the internet are convinced this is the Zodiac killer. I'm like, fuck, man. Like once again, I got caught up in this nonsense.
Yeah, I saw the story. They suspect it was this one. I forgot his name. This one guy who died like 2 years ago.
You know why you should forget his name and not mention it? Because you're like slandering some dude that we don't know for sure is a Zodiac killer.
Yeah, because all they have is like the markings they said that was on his face.
It's like
matches this guy's face.
It's like a hat. He bought a hat, and there's a hat or something like that.
But I know some of the people who think they solved the case helped decipher some of the letters of the Zodiac killer.
Well, the problem I heard was that, or I read, was that the Zodiac killer's ciphers are his cryptograms are flawed. They're not perfect, right?
Well,
so
how can you say they're not perfect
if you haven't figured them out?
Yeah.
Well,
because it's basically someone's like, this is too hard. His shit's flawed, not me.
You're right. It is what it's like. I'm not wrong. The question's wrong.
Yeah, because it's like he wrote it, so he knew what he wrote down and what he put on the paper.
Yeah.
So in his head, this is what I'm writing. This is up to them to figure it out. I don't think they keep saying his thing is flawed. You can't figure it out.
Well, what they're saying it's flawed is based on the fact that you can't run it through a computer and just break it the normal way.
Yeah, I don't think he meant it to be done that way.
Right? But at the same time, they're like, it doesn't follow the traditional rules of that type of
He's killing people. What traditional rules is he following? He's killing people. Like, what does he have to do traditionally to help these people? Like, it's not running properly in the computer.
The look on your face, you're like, what? It's like, oh man, I'm so sorry, guys. I fucked up. Right? There's rules says I'm sorry. Right? Don't mind that body. But,
yeah.
Oh man, let me just rewrite that cipher. He's killing people. It's true.
Yeah.
It's true. You're right. And the thing is, like, I totally wouldn't put it past someone, like you said, who's a killer, to like put out all these ciphers and shit, and at the end of it, just be like, haha, psych. I'm just gonna keep killing people. Bye, lol.
Yeah.
Right?
Not everyone's gonna be as smart as like the Unabomber and put out his like massive manifesto that's like fucking brilliant.
They're operating under the assumption he wants to be caught. That's why he's sending that. And the thing is, that was the pre-internet world, right? Where they didn't understand the true pleasure that comes from trolling people, right? Because that's what he was doing. He was murdering people and trolling the police.
He was the original troll.
He was one of the originals.
OG.
Yeah, right. And if you lived those investigators lived in our current world, they totally know. He's like, oh, he's fucking trolling us. He's trolling us from wherever he is. None of this shit is gonna lead us to him, right? That's why it blew my mind when I was like, oh shit, they figured it out. You mean it wasn't bullshit? And then 45 minutes later, a lot of people were like, no. This guy.
Yeah, because the way they spread it out the first time, it was like, we solved who the killer was.
Yeah.
And as you start reading more, it's like, no, we didn't solve who the killer is. We think we might know who it might be.
The word solve has a lot of definitions.
Yeah. It's like, we think we might know who this person may be, but we're not sure. But it could be him.
And it could be this other guy. It's like, so you don't know.
Yeah.
Well, we've solved something.
Because apparently, like, letters of his name they find in the letters that the Zodiac killer wrote is how they brought
Well,
the connection.
the key to the cipher is the guy's name, right? So he's like,
Yeah.
if you know my name, then you'll be able to break all this. And even back then, I was like, yeah, but if they knew your name, they wouldn't bother with this shit. They'd come arrest you,
Yeah.
right? It's like they're not gonna work on your name, dog. They just if you give them your name, they're just gonna come. They're gonna come get you.
This is gonna be like the pyramids. No one's gonna be able to solve this, like how no one can figure out how the pyramids got there.
That's true. And how like you can't even put a piece of paper between like the blocks and shit like
Yeah.
that. Wouldn't it be nuts though if like the Zodiac killer was just like an alien? Like an alien just came out, just came down, just like bang, 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 like fucked up a whole bunch of people. And then,
He wrote a letter confessing his crimes.
yeah,
And no one can figure it out.
it's like it's one of those things where like you know how like ET lived with a family, right?
Yeah.
And like the Zodiac killer alien was like he lived with a family, and he was like they were like treating him really nicely, right? And they would let him go and explore at nighttime and stuff like that, and like he could probably shapeshift into a person or something. I was like killing people, right? And then he would come back and he'd be like, "Yeah, man, San Francisco's really nice."
Yeah.
Right? And then he just fucked off a couple years later, and like didn't even frame the people. Like originally, the alien's plan was to frame the people he lived with, so he would leave these little clues. But then he started to like them, and then he just left. So it's like half finished homework.
Yeah.
Right? So it's like they're trying to figure out what this could all mean based on just a half finished stuff, and that's probably right. It's probably never gonna get solved.
Because how can you solve it? Because if they keep saying the computer program doesn't read it properly, there's a bunch of people who've been trying for years to solve it.
Like I said earlier, it's just easier for them to say, "Oh, it's broken.
It's
not
flawed.
perfect. It's flawed." Yeah. I'll never get over the it's flawed. He's killing me. That's true. Do you ever think that like sometimes the conditions to make a serial killer were perfectly met during the pandemic? Like just the outside forces and stuff like that, the way emotions were high, the way people's paranoia was high and stuff like that. Like this is all like
No,
serial killer origin story stuff.
I don't think so, man.
You don't think so?
No.
The pandemic at no point made you want to kill people.
I felt like this before the pandemic, so and that's really changed.
That's true. And like
I think it just maybe like elevated the levels, but more of it was just like, you know what? If anything really bad happened, I'd survive. That's where I came down to it, because I saw all these people looking for toilet paper. I'm like, I could kill every single one of you,
and take the paper for myself.
Yeah, and there's nothing you guys are gonna do about it. You're running out with like handfuls of toilet paper, like 50 masks on your face, plus a face screen, and like safety goggles and gloves.
Like none of that's gonna save you.
Yeah,
You're collecting supplies for me.
exactly. No, I think if you look back to like where all the big serial killers are happening, for whatever reason, it happened in California. That whole west coast of the states was
Well,
like
Cali
like-
is it like that place shouldn't exist. It's like perfect weather 24/7.
I think-
Like it's on fire. It's so hot sometimes. There's no water.
That's where the serial killers
Yeah.
come from. Because there's no bad weather, they have nothing else to do.
It's
there's,
true.
There's no snow they have to go to shovel.
Yeah, like the
They're not-
hardships are gone.
They're not cleaning like snow off their car 7 in the morning.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah,
You're right. They have a lot of time to just let their minds wander about crazy shit.
Yeah, they just go sit out on a hill and just hope they don't eaten by a mountain lion.
Do you think it's worse when serial killers come out of places like New York and shit like that, like Son of Sam and shit, where you're just like, motherfucker, you knew how bad things could be. You lived in New York,
Yeah.
right? I feel like though living in New York might make you want to kill people too.
Well, especially now. Yeah.
Based on just how people are and just how they interact with each other, and it's like the write-off of that is, oh, you're from New York, you understand it, right? It's like, yeah, but if you're not from here, it makes you want to murder people.
Yeah.
And that it's the idea of having just people on top of people like that.
Yeah,
right?
'cause you're just living on top of one another.
Exactly. It's so congested and so crammed. No wonder when shit went crazy, it went crazy fast there.
Yeah.
Right? There's so many people. It's like when that Matthew Broderick Godzilla movie happened, I was like, none of these people are there's no evacuating Manhattan.
Yeah.
Right? If a giant lizard's coming to kill these guys, imagine how many people would be like, A, the giant lizard doesn't exist, and B, they're like, even when it's walking down the street, they still be like, nah, I'm not going. Right?
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I'll take my chances with the lizard.
yeah, exactly. They're like, I'm not leaving this place. Right? People, it's gotten to the point right now where you can't be told nothing. No one can be told nothing no more. Right? And no matter how ludicrous the scenario is, everybody's an expert on the internet. That's why this thing that figuring out the Zodiac killer's identity really fucked me up, because I knew better and I bought into it. right? Because I was like, yo, don't believe the things you read on the internet. You know it's bullshit.
Well, sometimes they do get it right. Remember when they killed the show on Netflix, Don't Kill Cats?
Yeah.
Yeah, people on the internet solved that case.
Well, that's because they were
That
more
guy was
about
just
like, yo,
that guy wasn't far from us.
he was mad close. But that guy was like killing cats, and people got upset. When he was killing people, the police were like not too concerned about it.
Yeah. Did you see the Gabby Petito case thing?
I saw that 8 bodies have
They
been
found
discovered.
8 bodies
Yeah.
in the process of looking for Brian.
I know. That's the fact
That
that
amazed
nobody
me.
was looking for these other 8 people before.
Yeah, and they
What
just
the fuck?
happened to like pop up. They're like, oh shit, it's a body here.
8 of them, and it's like, hey, so there should be at minimum 4. Let's just say both 2 people per 8 were from the same family. There should at minimum be 4 families looking for these people,
Yeah.
right? But realistically, there should be 8 families looking for these people.
But like, my question is like, maybe you should go more into those woods and keep looking.
Yeah.
Because I think you'd find more bodies. Because if you found like 1 or 2, I'm like, oh, that shit, that's crazy. You found 2 bodies. You found 8 extra bodies.
Well, it's the extra part. It's like it's 8, and they weren't even the ones you were looking for.
Yeah,
right.
You just stumbled upon them.
Well, and the thing is, it's the manhunt for the guy that's stumbling, because they already have her body,
Yeah.
right, or her remains. So it's a manhunt for the dude that's revealing these like bodies and shit.
Well,
popping.
apparently they found his stuff and remains of a body, but they haven't identified it as him as yet.
I mean, it's entirely like that dude could have taken his own life or
I
something.
think that's what they said, because the story is the parents, after they stopped that search, the parents called up one day the cops or the FBI. It's like, we want to go look at this park, a park that's been closed. And I think maybe like 20 minutes into their search, they found it, like his stuff, and then there's like remains of like a body.
Word.
Yeah.
Damn.
So I feel more than likely he called the parents saying goodbye, and that's why they went to that one park.
It's like, yo, why did that woman have to die? Like, what happened between, like,
This is gonna be a case we'll never know.
well, anytime that happens and it's not like a disappearance case, even if it's a story about like homegirl got killed by her boyfriend or something, like, you hear about that unfortunately all the time, right? And I always think, why did that girl or even when a woman kills her ex-boyfriend, right? It's like, why'd that man or why'd that woman have to die? Y'all couldn't just break up.
Yeah.
Like, why is breaking up not good enough anymore? Like, why do those people need to die?
I have no idea.
It's that like us versus them kind of thing, where like instead of coming together, it's like, yo, I gotta win, right?
I was just kind of hoping like Dog the Bounty Hunter found the fact that he showed up and was like on the trail. I'm like, what does Dog have to do with anything? He left Hawaii to come here.
I know, and he was like, yo, I saw an opportunity, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah.
Right, I'm gonna hunt.
Redeem myself.
I mean, if that dude gets caught by Dog the Bounty Hunter, he's an ass fugitive, bro.
Yeah.
Like, yo, up until now, if he's alive, he's doing a good job of being on the run, right?
Yeah.
He's on the lam, and he's effectively evading whatever search parties are looking for him. If Dog the fucking Bounty Hunter and his team find you though, and the FBI and shit didn't, right? What does that say about the people who were looking for this guy?
The FBI sucks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what it says, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, yo, Dog, like, FBI agents have this great ability to continue to be anonymous, right? Like, regular people don't know who they are.
They're pretty bad. Like, I think this past couple of years, they've been pretty shitty.
Probably.
Like, horribly.
But at the same time, they have anonymity, so, like, you're not going to recognize them if they're
They
coming
don't
for
even
you.
recognize themselves. There's a story, because I think the governor of, like, Michigan, like, Whitmer, I don't know if you heard the story where there people wanted to kidnap her.
The governor?
Yeah, there's like a
No.
whole thing of like kidnap her. So there's supposed to be this rally, and they were gonna go plan to like do the rally, and then like they're gonna talk about kidnapping her.
They're holding a kidnapping rally?
Almost like that, right?
What the fuck?
But no, it gets even worse. There's maybe like 8 guys who are like talking about it. Turns out all 8 are undercover FBI agents who don't know each other, and
It's 8 different sting operations running at once.
yeah, and they all plotted with each other to kidnap the governor.
They're-
But they're all, but they're
8
basically
cases of entrapment, basically.
But basically trying to trap all the other people. But the other people are like, yeah, we're protesting. We don't want part of this.
Yeah.
But it's like the FBI agents like, yeah, let's do this. Until they realize, like, hold up.
You know
This is
what-
the scene right here.
You know what it reminds me of? That scene in Wolf of Wall Street where Jonah Hill just turns to DiCaprio, he's like, "Yo, smoke crack with me, bro." It's like, yo, what the fuck? No, I don't want to. He's like, "Come on, man, smoke crack with me." That sounds like some shit the FBI would do, though.
Yeah.
Like some crazy sting operation. The reason I said the anonymity works in their favor, though, because if I'm a fugitive and I see a guy in a suit that's a businessman or an FBI agent, that's a 50-50 rule. If I'm a fugitive and I see Dog the Bounty Hunter, there's no rolling there. That's 100% like, oh, that guy's here for me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get away from him, right? If you get caught by Dog the Bounty Hunter now, you deserve to get caught.
Well, I think he left because he like sprained his ankle or something.
But if he catches anybody now,
Yeah.
2021 and onward, if Dog the Bounty Hunter catches you, you're ass at what you were doing, and you should have never ran.
You know what was bad? Every time I saw him on the news, all I kept thinking was Cartman when he pretended to be the dog.
They get to a lot of this stuff mad quick. South Park.
Yeah.
When they see stupid, I love South Park for that reason. When they see stupid shit, they're like, in a week, we're gonna make fun of these idiots.
Yeah.
Right. No matter what, whether it's like, even if they don't see stupid shit per se, and they're just like, this is funny. Like the fucking president, like when Barack got elected, it was actually a diamond heist
Yeah.
the whole time. It's like, okay, I can see this is funny. But I really wish that the pandemic specials came out faster. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
we got them all at once, because that was some great stuff that touched on like what was going on in the moment in the world
Yeah.
and the country and stuff. It also feels like at this point now, we're recording this in October of 2021, you know? And it feels like we're for the most part moving past, but there's a whole bunch of shit in the world happening just to hit pause on this whole thing and just keep it all going. Keep it
Yeah.
all like in this machine and stuff, right? I hope we can find like some sort of middle ground where people aren't forced to put shit in their body against their will and shit like that. People aren't forced to lose their jobs and shit.
Yeah.
Because this is a fucking crazy slippery hill that we're starting at the bottom of right here.
Yeah.
Not even the bottom. We're like 2 or 3 steps up a really slippery slope.
Yeah. And we're just keep peeking over, looking down.
Looking at a sheer drop. And like it's gonna be one of those things where we're gonna get to a point further up the hill where people are gonna be dropping off. And everybody's gonna be wondering why people are dropping. As if there is no, like, you know, a law of nature is not when you go up something slippery, you're gonna fall and you're gonna fall far.
Gravity will bring you down.
Exactly, right? Like, do we not believe people are good at their jobs anymore, you think?
I guess it depends what
Just
job
across
they're
the
doing.
board. Like even like whether it's like government officials, police officers, porn stars, like no one is believing that anybody who's like a professional or anything is good at their job anymore almost.
I think mostly government has lost the faith of government and people around the news.
Yeah, I guess so.
I think
But you know
those
what?
two really lost like a lot of faith.
Fuck the news though, because I remember watching the night Trump was getting elected, and it was the most transparent thing ever. That like different groups had their own agenda, right? Instead of just giving you the news, there was so much emotion being involved. Depending on what channel you were looking at, it was either
Yeah.
people making jokes about needing fucking Xanax, or people making jokes about how the world was going to be fixed. And you're just like, what the fuck? What happened to you just giving me the information? Let me make a decision on which way I'm leaning.
It just became too. Everyone got in their feelings,
Yeah, that's the problem.
and that was it. Everyone
Yeah.
got way too sensitive all of a sudden.
Sensitivity is a great thing sometimes when, like, you know, if you're standing by fire and you're feeling like it's a little hot, that kind of sensitivity is good, right? If you're standing a mile away from a volcano and you're upset there's a volcano near you, I think you're a
Yeah.
bitch. like,
That or mean tweets on Twitter.
oh, don't even.
Dash.
Yeah. Dan, you're running the official Dan Cook's Meth Twitter account.
Oh,
Right.
that's fine.
And anybody who wants to reach out and say stupid shit, feel free to, because you're not going to get a response. Nothing's going to happen. Bro. We're not taking questions.
I will respond in GIFs or GIFs,
Yes.
however you want to say it.
Yeah.
That will be my response.
Gifes.
Guys.
Gifes. So we're going to put this out as often as we want.
Yeah.
And you hear it when you hear it.
Thanks for listening to the first episode.
Of Dan Cook's Meth.
Peace.
Out.